Hello, my friends. How are you doing today? I just wanted to follow up from yesterday's video. I was talking about the Comforter, how important it is to ask the Father for more of the Comforter, and the characteristics of that, of teaching us all things and guiding us into truth. And I was thinking about that, and I saw a video yesterday about a young gentleman. I mean, almost a child, really. A young gentleman, 25 years old. That I would see that as being like, a child, as someone's child, and a tragedy that they passed away because of a situation that they ran into with the police. And the person's name was Chase Allan. So you can look that up and you'll see what unfortunately happened. I mean, it's harsh to see, but anyway. Um, and I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about yesterday when I was talking about how important it is that we want to have access to the truth and know the truth and grow in truth and so on. And I thought, well, this young gentleman, he stood up for the truth. He felt that what he believed was true, and I'm sure that he was influenced by other people in his life, and he was taught these principles of standing up for one's independence and sovereignty and rights and freedoms and all those kind of things, which are very important, of course. But I mean, I couldn't help think, but yes, you may be true, you may have the right ideas, but how does that help when you're faced in a situation where you have to lay that down, you have to set that aside and say, no, I'm not gonna assert, even though I know that I'm in the right, even though I know that I'm true, or that the beliefs that he had were true beliefs, perhaps, let's say, right? Let's say that he was totally in the right. The fact of the matter is that, there's no benefit after you've gone. And I don't know how to put this into words, but I just felt it was a real tragedy, and that um, we also have to consider that the the spirit is something that delivers us from fear, right? We're told that we're not given a spirit of fear, but we're given a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. So fear can be, we're told not to have fear, that this spirit that we get from the Father doesn't cause us to fear, but we're also instructed that we should fear the one who's able to destroy both body and soul in hell. We're supposed to fear God, right? We're supposed to fear God, and what's the second part? Honor authority. Honor the king, honor authority. We're supposed to fear God, but honor authority, right? It says that the authority doesn't bear the sword in vain. It's there, the authority is there to defeat evil. But if we accidentally come into contact with that authority, we have to have a wise level of fear, in the sense of honor, right? We fear God and we honor authority. So when we come face to face with authority, there's no point in saying, well, I'm right and you're wrong. We need to honor that authority. And when that person or that individual or that representative of authority, who in most cases is the police, says, get out of the car, we have to get out of the car. Because even though it may be right to say, no, I'm not going to listen to you because I have this reason and that reason and the rights and this and so on and so forth, there's no benefit when you've just eaten a lead sandwich. You're full of bullets in your body, and you're gone from the earth. There's no benefit to being right when that representative of authority comes in like a steamroller. You have to get out of the way of the steamroller, right? You know the phrase when it says you jump out of the building, is it God's judgment that you get injured when you hit the ground, or you pass away when you hit the ground? Well, it's God's it's not necessarily his judgment. It's the way that he's created our reality. And we have to respect that reality. We save fear for God, but we respect the authorities that we have. We don't want to sacrifice our children to unnecessary danger and death. And the parents of this poor child that passed away, the parents of Chase Allan, I'm sure that they're never going to say that they were in the wrong. Of course not. They'll spend the rest of their days fighting for justice and fighting for compensation and fighting for, whatever they need to fight for, because they will have to preserve their. It would be too traumatic to say, well, we should have taught him to respect authority. We were wrong. No, they're never ever going to say that. They're going to say that the police were wrong, that the authorities were wrong, that the government is wrong. And they may be right. They may be absolutely 100% right. But when we take the whole advice that we get from scriptures about truth and about this, what kind of spirit that we are of, like, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of spirit do we have? And we're told the spirit that we have is a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. And so we have to take that all into consideration and say, how can we prevent these type of tragedies from happening? We don't want to just say we're right and you're wrong and that's all there is to it. We have to be sensible about it, right? And even Christ himself, the enemy tried to tempt him and say, oh, just jump off the building and the angels will bear you up in hands. Isn't that what the scripture says? And he said, no, right? I'm not going to put the Lord to the test. He said, I'm not going to tempt fate. I'm not going to tempt God, who's in control of all things that we would call fate. There is no fate. It's all controlled by God. We know that, right? He controls every detail. But again, I say, if we tempt the reality that has been created on our behalf, if we say, oh, I can just do this, nobody can tell me what to do because I'm a sovereign person. I'm a child of the King of the universe, who has more rights than that. They use the royal we. We even pray, give us this day. Who is us? We're praying on behalf of ourselves and our family and the spirit that's with us. The royal we don't have to go to that level of, I hate to say it, but self-centeredness, right? We need to focus on the reality that we've been placed in and say, okay, this is what God has placed me in, this reality. I'm not going to tempt fate by saying, oh, I can just do whatever I want. No, I need to humiliate myself, and not in a bad way, but to adopt an attitude of humility, of servanthood. Even it says, even Christ came to serve, not to be served, but to say, yes, officer, how can I help you? I'll get out of the car, right? When the policeman says get out of the car, we have to get out of the car. They're a representative of the sword of authority, and that you don't want to be on the wrong end of that sword. And if you're totally innocent, then there's nothing to fear. We have nothing to fear, right? It says the innocent are bold as a lion. So we have nothing to fear. The people that have something to fear are the ones who are in authority but are abusing that authority. Of course, if they're doing something wrong, they will have to account for that in the future. But in the meantime, we have to obey the authority, unless it comes down to a case where it's between obeying authority and obeying God. When they said, okay, you're not allowed to preach the gospel. You guys have to go out from here and never speak about the gospel, never talk about Jesus ever again. They said, well, if it comes down to a matter of obeying God or obeying men, we're not gonna obey you. We're gonna obey God, right? So if the officer comes to your window and says, do you deny Christ? You're gonna say, no, I'm not gonna deny Christ. Of course not. That's when you have to You know what I mean, right? I'm just trying to make a point here. But in the interim, when the officer says get out of the car, we have to stop, turn off the car, get out of the car. Don't ask for to be filled with bullets into your body. Nobody wants that. That's not that's not a solution. You can be right all you want, but it doesn't help when your body is full of bullets. And that's just a tragedy that shouldn't happen. We have to teach our children, when the policeman says get out the car, get out the car, right? And I feel so sorry for that person that passed, and for his family and his friends that are going to be feeling tortured because they're going to be arguing that he didn't do anything wrong. Why did that have to happen? And on and all those things. And they're not wrong, right? They have their grievances that will never be satisfied because they can't take him back from the grave. If they could just say, okay, we made a mistake, let's bring him back from the grave, yeah, it'd be a different story. But you can't go back after you fall out of the building, you hit the pavement. It's not pretty. I'm sorry I went a little too long today, but that was really bothering my heart and mind. And I just wanted to follow up that not only does the Spirit lead us into truth, but the Spirit leads us into love and powerful thinking and having a sound, clear mind of a situation and saying, okay, this is what I should do in this situation. And we ask God daily for that guidance so that we don't end up in a situation that could have been avoided, so to speak. I hope that helps. You may be facing something that is difficult, and I would just say ask the Father for more of His Spirit, because it can guide us in so many different areas of our lives and preserve us and protect us and allow us to spend our time on this earth in dignity and self-sufficiency and happiness and joy, and allow us the ability to lead a life together with our loved ones that is blessed. And that's my hope for you. Have a blessed life. Have a blessed day. God bless you. Thank you for watching. I love you very much. Have yourself a wonderful day, okay? Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now. Bye-bye.